a very warm welcome back to Shenzhen for the Intel Extreme Masters. Another season is well upon us now. StarCraft 2, of course, on its 4th of 5 days. Hearthstone was all cleared up yesterday, so we're going to focus on the quarterfinals today. Tomorrow will be the semi-finals and the grand final of StarCraft 2, the first of the brand new season. Moonglade's with me. Just reflect a little bit back on that ZVZ. It was quite a decent game.
That was a crazy game. It went all the way to 3-2 to Jaedong, and you know, Snood had the opportunity to win, and he was so close to taking that win in that last fight.
Are you frustrated by that when you look at it and you just think, damn it, you should have done that?
I guess it's wrong to be biased as a caster, but I really wanted Snood to do well for the foreigners out there. Yeah, he had the opportunities to do so too, and you know, I spoke a lot with him yesterday. I was kind of going through with him what he was planning, like getting an idea of what I would say today if I was casting his games, and yeah, it looked really good, and he played it the way he said, and exactly the way he said. I
mean, he was looking forward to this game. Like when he saw the draw, that's the draw he wanted. So he was comfortable. He seemed like in the right frame of mind. I know he's had. I don't want to make excuses on his behalf, but I know he hasn't been feeling very well this morning. And you just wondered little things like that.
I think it's kind of the common thing going to a foreign country like China. You know, it's always a risk when you're eating the food here, and it can upset you. And but he was still playing like a top-level game. You know, even though he did everything he wanted to do, just the way Jaedong reacted to it, the way he held on, and the way Jaedong plays is some of the time Snood played into the way Jaedong played a lot. Yeah. And that last game, it was kind of like he was on a time limit. He had to do damage. He had to kill before this 1-1 Lings got upgraded. The 1-1 Lings got upgraded. He survived, and it went in Jaedong's favor. Yeah.
So Jaedong in a semi-final versus Tasia. It's a decent matchup.
It's a decent matchup.
Which we'll see tomorrow. We're going to focus on San versus Jim, which is our next one. These two going to go head-to-head as I'm not quite sure what you're seeing right now.
Jim versus San.
Okay, all right. So I'm trying to orientate. My jet lag is just kicked in, I think. Tasia versus Jaedong is the first semi-final. Second semi-final, we don't know right now because we haven't had either of the quarterfinals. Jim versus San next, and then Solar versus Innovation after that. So let's focus on Jim versus San. PvP.
PvP. San obviously not doing so well in PvP lately. WCS EU, he dropped 4-0 to Stardust. Yep. Kind of a crushing defeat, dare I say, and losing also yesterday to Zest, I believe it was, 2-0. So not showing the best form of PvP. And as for Jim beat Life and Tasia yesterday, not showing his PvP whatsoever. So I think like going forward, it's really going to be up to what his form is, Jim especially. He's kind of a dark horse coming into this. Yeah. We see him in WCS NA a lot, sometimes, but he hasn't done that well. I guess playing from China to North America is going to obviously have quite some latency problems. Yeah. So we're going to have to really wait and see what Jim can do. Yeah,
home favourite, of course. He's on home ground as well. That always has a little impetus. You play back in Australia, haven't played for a while, I guess. But you know what that's like. Home favourite and home fans. It always makes you feel good, right?
And I mean, there's so many fans in China, and he's the only Chinese player here. Like, it's all riding on him. He has to do something. He's got to do it for the fans, which there are a lot of out there. Yeah. And
you mentioned San obviously came unstuck in that grand final at WCS Season 2. But up to that point, his PvP had been immaculate. Yeah. So we know he can play the matchup.
He can definitely play it. Absolutely. It's just a matter of him bringing it back, you know? Coming over that hurdle that he's stumbling on. Like, what is wrong? Is it the mindset? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see.
All right. Thank you very much, Moonglade. We'll be back after the match. But it's time now for our third quarterfinal of the day. Can Jim be the lone foreigner and keep it going? Let's find out as he goes head-to-head with the PvP master himself, San. And it's time to go over to your commentary team of Apollo and Kalaris.
All right, quarterfinal number 3 now on the way here in the round of 8 as we find out who's going to be moving on to that round of 4, Jim or San. Either way, we get a nice Protoss in that round of 4.
Yeah, a very skilled Protoss in the round of 4, no matter what. Jim surprising a lot of people, though, being able to get to the quarterfinals already. And here he is. If you haven't been watching this tournament closely, Jim managed to escape out of his group in first place, defeating Life and Tasia. A shock to many, because, as Moonglade mentioned, he hasn't got the best of results to his name. I think his highest result was a 4th at WCG last year, in 2013, of course, in China. A very good result there. But he's got a lot of momentum coming into this series. He's got the crowd behind him. He's got the fact that San has lost 6 of his last Protoss versus Protoss games in a row. That is really, really shaky for San. He lost 0-4 versus Stardust and 0-2 versus Zest. Bear in mind, both players are great. San, when it comes to pressure, he seems to crumble under it a little bit. When it comes to the later stages, if you remember back to DreamHack Summer in the semifinals, everyone's like, San's going to win. San's going to win. He's going to beat Hero. Hero's not playing very well, and he lost there as well. So in high-pressure situations, I think we may see Jim excel here.
Yeah, can be scary, that's for sure. All right, well, our first player now spawning up to the top right-hand corner as our red Protoss representing Invictus Gaming. It is Jim. And up to the top left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss. Here, representing your Flash Wolves, it's San.
But as much as San is on a little bit of a losing streak when it comes to his Protoss versus Protoss, he's also one of the better Protoss versus Protoss players out there usually.
Yeah.
He's been on a massive winning streak in this matchup before, but just in the last month or so, he is struggling a little bit. So we'll see how this is going to play out. I did manage to commentate San versus Zest. It was fast games. Zest played incredible, more so than San making huge mistakes.
I mean, the way we've seen Zest play PvP in general anyway, we cast him in the qualifier leading up to this, and he looked sickeningly good in Protoss versus Protoss there as well. Really not falling to too much. So, you know, you can't read too much into that at all. San losing on that one, but it is, as you said, those 6 consecutive losses in maps that could really hurt him. That final against Stardust was not the best for him, and it's not as if those were short games either. Those were long, drawn-out games into macro situations where San normally does well, but Stardust just had his number.
All right, well, both players have opened up very similar so far in this game. The only difference is that Jim is going to scout out on this 4-player map. San didn't scout very often at all against Zest. He just played like this, so he'll obviously scout inside his main base. He did it after the Cyber Core, or just before sometimes, to see if he was getting proxigated, but on a big map like this, that's very rarely going to happen here. So San is going to play a little bit greedy when it does come to his build. He's in Gas Level 3, likewise is Jim. And he is leaving that scout to the last minute here. So just optimizing his strategy. It means he can get the highest amount of gas income and also have a faster Cyber Core at the same time over his opponent.
Yeah, and Jim is actually going to get on in here and have a little bit of a look around. So he's going to initially see the Cybernetics core. He'll be looking for a second pylon, but since it's all the way up to the top right-hand corner, it's kind of difficult to see. So that might kind of trick him out just a little bit. We'll see how thorough he's going to be with his scout.
Yeah, I mean, he could read into the Cyber Core being a little bit faster than his own, so you might know that if there was a pylon out there, it would be slower, but
That's true.
Small details, of course. But at this point, I don't think Jim's too worried at the moment. He's going to see that third pylon down. He slaps down the Stargate immediately before anything, so that's a really, really fast Stargate here.
Yeah.
And it's a Sentry. Going to be built by San here. And with the Sentry out first, this is more than likely to be an expansion build.
Especially when he sees it as well. He now knows where 100 gas just went. He saw the Chrono Boost into the Nexus as well, so saw that there was a Mothership core coming out from the beam at the top of the Nexus, etc. So he knows where all of the gas has been spent for now from Jim. From San even, sorry.
All right, well, looks like the admin has paused the game. And
that's a lot of information.
You can see him down in the bottom there. I think the admin's asking him to wear the same headset as San, I think, rather than the one that he's currently wearing.
Oh, was he not wearing it?
Well, he had his regular one on.
Okay.
And, of course, being in a Chinese audience, wants to just make sure that there is no advantage over to Jim in any form or shape.
Very, very important. San has no clue what's going on right now, but...
He's like, what? What's going on?
They'll resume in just a second, so... All right, so as I said, that probe got a lot of information, aside from not seeing that pylon up to the top, but yeah, again, that's kind of by the by when he knows where all the gas has gone. It's an important pickup. Yeah,
it's a really big pickup there. Knowing that the Sentry's out is really good information, and I'm interested to see which angle now Jim will take with this information. And to be honest, I prefer being the player getting the information more so than San, who's just trying to, optimize his build to the best it can be. But sometimes that can work in favor of San if his build is truly all-rounded against any possibilities that Jim could go for. As you can see, Jim's got that big clunky headset on now. It's a soundproof headset, of course, inside that soundproof booth. Yeah, so interested to see which way Jim's going to go now. Oracle. Obviously, can kill sentries immediately. He can get into the probe enemy. He just try Phoenixes here. He knows this is more than likely going to be an expansion build, so he knows that he would like to do damage. Is it an Oracle into expansion? Is it an Oracle or Phoenix into gateway pressure to try and finish the game early?
I think initially with that, it could have been the Phoenix option just to cover a lot of the bases that that could have come along, even I should say. The Sentry's going to position itself at the front now, and it is looking like San just wants to go for a very, very fast expansion here.
Yeah.
So how is Jim going to deal with this is the big question.
We're about to find out. As soon as that Stargate finishes, what unit does he choose here? Two very different units can come out here. Obviously, the Stargate can build a Void Ray too, but that's not so much going to be the case. And an Oracle.
All right.
She's going to try and do damage here. Unfortunately, though, this could turn into an air versus air battle with San potentially taking a lead depending on what unit he gets. Remember that he's got a Sentry that has energy to scout. So depending on what that Sentry scouts now, 15 energy away, but the Oracle's going to be out in time here.
Yeah. And with the positioning of the Mothership Core, if he doesn't... Oh, okay, he is bringing it back. Because he would have spotted the Oracle moving across, but then he wouldn't have had Photon Overcharge in place. But he's bringing it back now, knowing that that is a very, very important maneuver here. He would have just had to rely on Stalkers in the mineral line. So I think he should be okay against this.
He can push it back. Definitely can push it back. He can build a Phoenix and kill it, so...
Tricky little pylon down to the bottom right here for San as well. So
Here
might
we
look
go.
for some
Photon Overcharge needs to be activated before probes die.
Good.
1, 2, slow reactions from San.
Very
3
slow.
go down.
Needs to get on out of there. It
Yeah,
does.
and now it's... I don't think the Oracle spotted the Stargate. I'm not too sure.
I think it has, because it was very close.
Okay, so now it's an air battle time.
Yeah. It's Phoenix, man.
Yeah.
And the big question then is, like, who actually is ballsy enough to kind of step away from the Phoenix or even go further?
I think it's really hard to step away from Phoenix versus Phoenix.
I agree.
Really hard to step away from this kind of battle. The thing is, though, that he's looking for the Oracle.
And it's being
And
tricky.
depending on how many kills this gets again, would, despite the Nexus being later, give Jim an advantage in this game. He's looking in the probe line. No. 1, 2,
Oh,
2.
nice.
So look at the probe difference, 28 to 24. More money means more units. Simple StarCraft math.
That's good stuff.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And okay, he gets a few more as well. So that was always going to die. The Phoenix would eventually chased it down.
And now it's 9 probe kills to 2 players who's on similar unit counts. Jim is dedicated to air for sure. He's getting a 3rd and 4th gas straight away, which means he wants to shoot up towards not just building Phoenixes, but more Phoenixes maybe. And you got a couple of options to choose from. Do you try to get a 2nd Stargate down fast here?
Yeah.
Do you want to go towards the fleet beacon pretty fast? How do you want to do this? Does he get +1 attack for the air as well?
He could do. And you've got to be so careful with what San just did, picking up probes in the mineral line when your opponent also has Phoenix. Because if you don't have a Phoenix shooting whilst all your opponents are, it can get really scary.
So right now this is... Oh, nice micro from Jim. Nice micro from Jim. And he's going to actually take a bit of a lead here.
Oh, wow. Very good. Oh, he could have pulled it. If he
He's
could have pulled that.
got a big lead here. San's in so much trouble. You cannot slip behind like this. This means now that San is behind in Phoenixes, which means no more scanning information for you. He cannot be aggressive. He's behind in economy. He's behind with the gases on the natural. There's a 2nd Stargate coming in. Jim is winning in every single angle right now. And all he needs to do is just keep on rising that count. Unless we see a drastic change come out from San, there is literally no way that he could win.
Exactly.
You're playing the same units versus the guy who has more of the same.
I think I'm trying to theorize what he could do, and the only thing I can think of is like put 2 Stargates somewhere else and try and accumulate. But even then, Jim, with the double Stargate production, is going to find a window in between all of that anyway, where he has just huge superior numbers of Phoenix.
I mean, is there a probe still down by that pylon in the bottom right that could be useful down here? Maybe that could be used, but the fleet beacon's coming in now, so not only is the unit count going to be higher, the range is going to come in soon as well.
San has to do something.
He does, but what does he do? The Phoenix count, if we look at it, it's very important right now between the two, and San is down by 2. Look at the supplies as well. Down in probes, down in gas, down in production, and that's a scout but got nothing.
I suppose he saw the Phoenix number, but it could have just been profusely chrono boosted into 1 Stargate, because I don't think he's seen the 2nd one yet, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, he did see it being produced. Okay.
But he knows he's in trouble anyway.
Yeah. And he still hasn't reacted in terms of throwing another Stargate down himself, so he has to find some other route.
There is always the tricky switch-up where you can go DTs against a player who's focusing only on air because there are no robotics facilities in this game. But the Forge is coming in for Jim to make sure that he doesn't lose the DTs. He'll probably build a couple of cannons to that is his detection. And he may even get shields from that, a shield upgrade or something. But overall, what we're going to see is as soon as range is done, he's going to fly over there, he's going to start taking fights, and he's going to start to win fights very easily.
Absolutely murder.
Yeah.
I don't know what San is actually doing here, because there has to be some response. This is too late.
Yeah.
This is way too late.
But I mean, in a game of StarCraft like this as well, it is sometimes hard to know exactly where you are in the game. So it is hard to be like, you know, if I keep, you know, macroing well and hitting my pylons, hitting my probes, and building the right units at the right time, maybe I can get back in that way. But right now, as we can see, parallel game by both, and that's going to end one way.
Oh, geez, that is a lot of Phoenix. Photon Overcharge doesn't even kill Phoenix that fast itself anyway, so it's not going to provide huge amounts. Yeah. And he just negates it. He just goes to the other location. Stacks those Phoenix up, powering down the other ones. And he has range over, I think the range is just about finished up for San now.
Yeah, massive advantage here. Guardian Shield is awesome, but not when the numbers are this different.
No, that's too many Phoenix. Jim absolutely slaughters the numbers of San here, picking up sentries as well.
And the Chinese crowd are loving this right now. I can see them in the corner of my eye. They're cheering and clapping already, and they know that Jim's in a fantastic position here. He's picking up Stalkers with this.
Why not? Why not? Get himself maybe another Phoenix. Actually scoots on out of there, so double Phoenix production for both of them here. But still, Jim has he has a stronger number of Phoenix still with 5-1, so that is really a big chunk of what matters here in this war.
Right, absolutely. Stalkers are assisting here, and Jim is throwing away a couple of units a little bit carelessly, but he's just, I don't know, he's just messing around, killing off these Phoenixes, keeping the count low. He can take a third, well, he is taking a third base at this point. He definitely even get upgrades. I mean, there's something that he's been not really working on a lot here, but a massive advantage here. Absolutely huge for Jim.
Yeah, I think it was an important point that you just raised there with the kind of careless throwaway of some of those units. I mean, he didn't have to continue on with that fight and allow all those Stalkers, those pot shots, but he feels that he is so far in the lead with his numbers.
Absolutely, he's even getting to probe lines now and lowering the gas income a little bit.
And as long as he sits above the Stargates and tries to negate the Stalker shots, because they don't have blink, he can dance around for a while.
6 gateways coming in, he's probably just going to go for a killer move now, +1 attack on the way. He'll continue to beat Phoenixes, but on the economy he has, he can also support ground units too. And there's even a pylon down the south here, so he's going to start to warp in a lot of Stalkers, a lot of units.
Yep, kills off the last 2 Phoenix, and needs to just get away from those Stalkers who are now looking. San has got into kind of kamikaze mode. He's just sending the rest of his gateway force across. He knows he can't compete with the Phoenix.
No, he's just trying to, counter. Maybe he can find an angle here, but with the Phoenixes, the Void Ray's being made now as well to make sure he doesn't die off, just to certify the win.
Yeah.
The third is cancelled, which resets the 2-2 economy, or the 2-base economy, but now we're going to have to see Photon Overcharge used. We're going to have to see these Phoenixes come back to defense.
To be fair, that's quite a few Stalkers for Sam, but once everything gets back here, picks up, chases them away with Zealots. Again, these Stalkers do not have blink, so very difficult for him to really do anything with that. They don't even have weapon upgrades, where Jim's going to have +1 very soon as well.
Yeah, it's nice for San. He's made a good switch here. He had a couple of Phoenixes that were just dying off all the time, but he did build gateways down. He's got a couple of units up. And it's his last really attempt here. He has to, I don't even think he can wait for Photon Overcharge, because it's going to be quite difficult here. A lot of pylons have gone down, but more and more Void Rays added in. And with Stalkers, you need to get right up and close to the Void Rays, but there's so many Zealots here and a couple of Force Fields as well. A lot of lifts available. We'll see. We'll see.
Still quite a big gateway army. Could force field off that section at the right-hand side, and it does try to, but the overcharge has been activated on 2 of these Void Rays, picking up what he can as well. Just grab those Stalkers to the best of your ability, and then from there on out, you're going to conquer Jim, because this game is looking in the back for you. There you go.
GG. Game 1 to Jim. And he's playing well in this tournament. Very, very well.
It was pretty dry cut, that game. Pretty good for Jim there. I can't fathom what San was really wanting to do with such a late Stargate. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, you're just hoping for your opponent to make mistakes somewhere, to maybe try to switch out of that tech. But even if you think about what else could San do, if he switches out of Stargate there, you're gonna get run around.
Yeah.
You're gonna get run around. It's going to be very hard to stop Phoenixes from just overwhelming you. You lose your probes all the time. You lose your gateway units. It's very, very difficult from that position, which is why when double Stargates are down, the guy that chickens out and doesn't want to play Phoenix versus Phoenix usually loses out, unfortunately. You really have to stick with it. All
right, well, game number 2 is on the way now. Overgrowth will be our map, as Jim currently leads 1-0 here in this best of 5. Looking good in that first game, looking good, but there's certainly no reason San couldn't equalize it out, because 1 or 2 different decisions in that game could have quite happily transitioned it into a better mid-game there. No reason that he couldn't.
All right, San, 7 games in a row now he's lost in PvP in different tournaments. Really needs to put a stop to this.
All right, let's get into it then. Spawn down to the bottom left-hand corner as our red Protoss, representing Invictus Gaming. It is Jim. And up to the top right, our blue Protoss, representing Yo Flash Wolves. It's San.
Jim, definitely a contender for this tournament. Definitely an underdog out of the players that are still left in, but he's playing amazing. It's good to see.
Yeah, especially in China, of all places, for him to like pull out really good results. On home turf, on home soil is really awesome to see. I absolutely agree. I said it before on the couch, you know, I was never a member of the Jim hype train, but after seeing his results at this tournament, I had to reevaluate my position because he's playing really, really well.
Yeah, he's playing very, very well. He came through the qualifiers, the Chinese qualifiers to play here. He's pretty much the best Chinese player that there is, you know, competing in WCS America. And it looks like, unfortunately, Cloris, the Americans are going to get one over on us.
Yeah.
Sans ours.
They seem to do, they seem to do that quite a few times in the recent. The Americans are doing all right.
Well, if you think about it, Tasia and Jadon both in WCS America.
Yeah.
We don't have any players left apart from San. Solar and Innovation in Korea.
Tasia and Jadon from America beat Korea and Europe, basically.
Yeah.
That's quite impressive.
Americans, man.
Good job, America. Well done.
USA.
All right, let's find out what's going to happen here. It's no kind of earlier gateways here, which is nice to see. Sometimes that can get a bit crazy.
Yeah, I like how proxies are completely out of the metagame currently.
Yeah.
Just don't be used. They're very easily defendable if they're scouted, and the way that people play recently is very heavy on the scouting because of how dominant proxy gateways were just a good few months back. As you see, both play San on his natural, Jim, not so much.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Admin.
Messy.
Hey, Mr. Admin, what the hell are you doing?
All right, Jim's not amused. We'll find out in a second. I think his PC probably just crashed. That happens quite often. Oh, no. Oh, he's back. Whoa. All right, let's go. So Jim's checking around, as is San. So very important to just make sure that those proxies aren't happening, as you were mentioning before. And then they'll cross paths and be like, oh, well.
Yeah, so, again, well, they don't spot each other. They will once they, well, no, obviously when they get in the base.
Yeah.
Wonder what tech choices we're going to see now. San tried to get away with that, well, tried to go for that Century expansion, but was punished by the Oracle. It seems to be a case that happens a lot. What's going to happen this time? I think we might see some more traditional openers, but it is a Century from Jim this time. Stalker from San. San does love his Twilight Council. He likes his Blink play.
Yeah, this might be him gearing towards a bit more of an aggressive play, which would be nice to see. He can always do so well with it, but with Jim opening up that Sentry, as you mentioned.
Yeah, San is in there, and he's wanting to see which unit's going to pop out. He noticed no Chrono Boost, but no, actually, he's not going to wait around. He's going to leave. And the Stargate's been thrown down here.
Whoop. Okay, so at least he sees the Stalker coming out.
Yeah, Jim got the information on the unit, but San didn't. So San is completely clueless to what's going on. The only thing he knew is there's no Chrono Boost been used in any of these structures, which could signify that he wants to use the Chrono Boost somewhere else. But it's a Stargate into the Robo. I like this. This is more often than not just going to be Phoenix into safety net, really. The Immortal production, very good against any. Let's say Jim used Blink. You didn't have the Immortals out fast enough, you could just die.
Yeah.
It's hard to use Oracle in this regard because it is a little bit more expensive if you want to add another unit in, but if you don't, you can use an Oracle. As you can see, the gas is just lining up 150 here for San if he wants to try that, but it's usually Phoenix.
But with the diversity of tech, this probe now about to spot the natural, that's very, very important, right? Because he didn't see any units to begin with, now he sees the natural.
He'll expand from this,
Yeah.
and then what he could expand. The common way to do this is to expand, but San's playing very safe, even the second gateway in. You'd expect an expansion to come out and then utilize these Phoenixes to gain value from them. Even though the Nexus is later, Phoenixes can kill off a lot of units here.
All right, well, for now, he's still actually at the front with a probe, just kind of, or is that the Stalker? I'm not sure. Anyway, just kind of keeping himself well defended there.
Yeah.
He actually might be using that to deny scouting, and then, oh, he's going to take the Nexus anyway, so...
Yeah, and Jim now is building an Oracle, but he's going to have to cancel that.
Yeah, that Phoenix coming out, that is a real Phoenix.
Unless somehow the Oracle slips away, you'd expect to cancel. But
if he actually goes for the Oracle and somehow wiggles around and gets some kills...
and then switches into Phoenixes again, yes.
That would be crazy stuff. Oh, he sees it.
Got to cancel it now, come on.
Yeah.
He's going to try it?
There's no way.
Yeah, he's going to try it.
Whoa.
He's going to try it.
Jim.
So if this Oracle does it, we saw what happened last game.
Oh
if this Oracle does it, if it slips all the way around, and San would be expecting a cancel here. This is it's always usually a cancel at this point. So he's nowhere near.
I was saying San last game was kamikazing, but this is the true kamikaze. It's like, I'm going to just get some kills and hope for the best because I know I'm going to die.
If this doesn't work, then San's got an advantage with the Phoenix count and stuff, but... Oh, Jim, incredible.
Right, there's nothing there, just
going in. Photon overcharge ready by San. Is he going to use it? What's he focusing on? And his Phoenixes, he does come back in time. How many are going to get killed?
All right, just get as many as possible and then run away.
Yeah,
well,
4, 5, 6, I think that is.
Was that enough?
Probe count difference? I think so.
34.
Think so.
26.
But he's got to minimize his own losses now. Oh, San coming in with a beautiful counter here with the Phoenixes.
Yeah, he's got to use his Phoenix in tandem with his ground force as well, because he didn't start his Phoenix production as quickly as San, and thus he didn't have as many. So that's important.
But the money that Jim's got in lead is that second Stargate here, so he just needs to hold on and not take any losses versus the higher Phoenix count right now.
What an interesting choice. Really, what an interesting choice. San was rallying his next Phoenix a little bit slower, actually, there. So now the numbers at the front right now are very even, but once that extra Phoenix joins, but there's the ground force still as well for Jim.
Yeah, and Photon overcharge soon, and Jim maintains the economy leads after that Oracle.
Fleet Beacon gets added on here, so San's pulling no punch in this one. He's going straight for the air dominance. But again, with the second Stargate not down still for him.
San has to use this timing. He has to use his range timing, otherwise the numbers are going to be too much.
All right, let's see how he's going to make this work. Actually,
nice. Very good, keeping the numbers low for Jim. But what has Jim seen? The Fleet Beacon? It's at the back, he didn't spot it.
That's a little bit sad for him.
He needs to get his own Fleet Beacon ASAP.
Yeah, he does. Because without range, you actually can't hit those Phoenix if you're controlling them well enough, if your opponent is controlling them well enough.
San's doing well in this game.
Yeah. So, two big Phoenix games so far. Chrono Boost goes instantly into range for the Anion Pulse Crystals over there for San. He knows how important that is because he is down on the Stargate.
If he can get that range upgrade out in time. Sans is coming in. His Photon Overcharge been used already.
He needs to continually Chrono Boost into that. That window has to be as big as possible. Right now, it's pretty huge because the Fleet Beacon has only been started about halfway now for Jim, but still.
9 to 10. Sans even got the Phoenix lead here. Not only the range lead, but the Phoenix lead. It will start to go in favor of Jim, but what do numbers matter if the units can't fire?
That's true. And Chrono Boost still going into Anion Pulse Crystals. It's going to be finished very, very soon. He just needs one more and he goes for it.
He's going to go in now. He has to. This is a perfect timing, perfect opportunity here for San. He's got to take the fight to the Phoenixes.
That upgrades that range as fast as it can.
So it's done now. He's got to take a fight, and he will.
All right, this
Look
is going to
at that. Oh, what instantly.
All right, now he knows he's in trouble. He knows he's in a lot of trouble here. Has to do something about it. Starts picking things up, tries to force the fight. He's actually going to pull them out of that position. Anion Pulse Crystal still hasn't started, though. For Jim, considering that he has his Fleet Beacon down, he really needs to get that going. And now the numbers in favor of San in terms of the workers as well. He needs Anion Pulse Crystals.
Yes, he does.
All right. The thing is, where the Fleet Beacon was as well, if he'd have started Anion Pulse Crystals, then San would have instantly known when it started and would have known exactly how long his timing was. But now it starts without him in range of it, so he might be a little bit in the dark, but at least the timing's still there.
And if San takes a big lead soon and takes a good fight, he no longer needs to build Phoenixes to keep up the battle because he'll have these left over, which means he can fully dedicate to a ground army to finish it off.
Photon Overcharge will buy him a little bit of time in his main. That's a good start.
Guardian Shield is so helpful. It is the umbrella that the Phoenixes need against this rain.
Yeah, there's a massive, massive difference in damage reduction, you're right. And Anion Pulse Crystal is about to finish, so Jim is about to stabilize without taking a huge amount of losses.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed at how well he dealt with that overall.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to stabilize. Anion Pulse Crystals is finished.
All right, what's the count now between the both?
Okay, so 12 to 14.
San's still in a little bit of a lead, plus he's got the extra gateways faster here, and there's the probe piling out here as well, which now Jim spots.
No air weapons upgrades from either player just yet. No one being committed to.
I think I was 2-1, 3-1 in favor of San there.
You've got to be so careful about the control here.
And I think San's finished messing around now.
Uh-oh. Stalker's coming in to help this out as well. Jim, you have to be careful, my friend. 16 Phoenix against 11. He's also stacking them up, making it a lot harder for any focus.
Guardian Shields. Photon Overcharge needed badly, but the Mothership Core was picked off.
All right, if he buys time for the 3 extra gateways to reinforce and has a good number of Stalkers on the ground as well, that can help out quite a lot. But now actually going to move forwards and actually just take the fight straight up it's very difficult to tell who's really winning out on the Phoenix battle without seeing the numbers. But San is, in the end, he just had the superior numbers. He just had everything at his disposal and is able to win it out.
Phoenix, baby, 1-1.
GG.
Yeah, well played. Oracle not quite enough there for Jim.
Yeah, and that was a ballsy move. Like, it can be all too easy if your opponent sees the finishing of that unit to then just be like, all right, well, I'm just going to go hunt that down around a corner somewhere and be fine with it. But no, he decided to be... He actually did a really good job of pushing the Phoenix away before it was finishing. So that was nicely done, but wasn't enough. San able to equalize up.
Yep, he's able to equalize, and I do like the one Stargate Fleet Beacon. I do like it, and that's seemingly so what San did attempting game 1, just from too far behind of a position.
Yeah, at the pace he pushed it out in game number 2, I do like it. It was really cool. So, now that puts them level pegging when it comes to very, relatively similar games, in fact, but obviously with quite big deviations in terms of the outcome and how things played out in the earlier stage. So that's going to be playing on their minds, because Phoenix versus Phoenix can be really, really brutal. Like, if you make one slip-up, one error, then you lose a few Phoenix, and then boom, you're just dead in the water.
So, Deadwing. Next map here. Big map. Big macro map between the both. Interestingly, how both players won in the way that, game 1, it was San trying to fast expansion, losing to Phoenix's out, and then this time it was Jim losing to it out. Winning with each other's strategies. Yeah,
reverses. All right, so apparently we are just waiting for a minute or two, and then we'll get into game number 3.
It's really hard to get back into a... like when you're doing exactly the same thing, similar to how Snoot and Jadon was playing, when you're on the same unit, same upgrades in a mirror matchup like this.
Yeah.
Very hard to get back into the game, as you find out in PvP and Phoenix versus Phoenix. And it's so impossible because it's so control-based and you're always looking around. There's no switch-ups you can make either. You just instantly die then.
Yeah.
So you have to keep doing the same.
That is a sexy keyboard.
From Jim.
Lovely stuff.
Jimmy's keyboard. Well, we'll find out which way this is going to swing now, this next one.
And I like what you actually said before, because the Phoenix are always so... Like, if you are playing Phoenix, they're always so in your face, so active. I mean, there's no real reason why Phoenix should just be, like, sat around doing a whole lot of nothing, right? So...
I wonder if we'll start to see some mind games come into play against the Phoenix play that we've seen.
You
fast
mean, like,
DTs, fast 3-gate, stuff like this could come into play now.
Something very punishing.
Something a lot more aggressive.
And it could, happily could. Especially if you're on a map that is big and it's hard to scout out early on. If someone goes for that really early gateway play that we saw like Stardust doing in WCS Europe, something like that can just absolutely destroy you, and you've just got no units. And it's like, well, okay. I
mean, like San's build in that previous game was very good if we were to see Blink or something. You know how San tried Stargate in game 1, and if Jim had tried Blink in game 2 against a similar style, it could have worked out well. And
and Robo's already there, etc.
Yeah, Robo's out so fast. You can switch into Immortals immediately, and you're actually pretty good against that style. But
I think it's also really nice as well to see not only Jim on home soil, but in general Jim doing well, like representing Invictus Gaming. Invictus Gaming is a long history and a long line of very, very strong players across a lot of games, and it's actually, I think, one of my favorite Asian teams is Invictus Gaming, like across a lot of games, because they produce some really good players. And Jim, it's clear that the Chinese scene is still quite isolated. Of course, they've breached out of that with WCS America and their involvement in that a little bit, but they always bring their own flavor, which is nice. I like seeing it.
Yeah, Chinese style, much different, and there's not many Terran players in China, to be honest. There's just a lot of Protoss and Zerg, so Jim definitely doing well, especially with his 2-0 over Tasia.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't manage to see those games because I was flying.
Yeah, it was more so Tasia giving advantages away and Jim just being like, all right, cool, man. Cheers for that, and then finishing it off.
At least he's got the killer instinct.
All right, so we are waiting on the Korean Observer, by the way. He had to restart the PC and will rejoin us in a second, which is what we're waiting on currently, and both players as well. Who do you favor, Jim or San, to take this?
After seeing those 2 games, I think San adapted well going into game number 2. I think that San could do pretty darn well in this hot series as a whole. I think San probably would win out.
Yep.
I want to say I can't put it past Jim. I don't want to take like the middle route. I'm gonna stick with San, but the way in which Jim has played has been very good this tournament. But I'm still sticking with San. How about yourself?
I'm gonna go Jim.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm feeling Jim credible.
All right, okay. That's acceptable.
Who do you reckon's the second best Chinese player?
Second best?
Maybe Shigua or Maxed?
It was Toot Ming that got really far in the last WCS America, right?
Toot Ming's been doing well recently,
Toot Ming
yes.
did all right. Toot Ming's ZV anything, though, is very, very mid-game focused. And if he doesn't kill in the mid-game, like, I feel it does. Well, no, I say that, but he has some really good late-game games as well. Damn it. The Chinese players are getting really good as of late. I'm impressed by them. Because all of those are in contention for, like, really top spots, right?
Yeah. Especially, shame we couldn't have more than just one Chinese player make it to this stage of the tournament, or at least the group stage. It was just Jim. Jim and Snoot and Puck and Illusion, the only non-Korean players that made it into group stage, one way or another.
All right, and we are now loading up onto our 3rd game here on Deadwing.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you for bearing with us, guys. We've had a lot of good games already. The ZVZ that you got to cast with Moonglade was awesome. I was loving that. And then the series that we cast before was awesome in a different way. A very, very interesting one. All right, let's get into it. Game number 3, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. As our red Protoss representing Invictus Gaming, it is Jim.
Jimmy boy. It's a Chinese crowd. Well, that really turned out for Jim's games.
Yeah, man. Got to cheer on their hometown hero. Well, probably not hometown hero, but
country hero.
Country hero. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss representing Yo Flash Wolves. It's San. Oh, I need to buy a fan.
Yeah?
Yeah, I need to buy a fan at some point. Very useful.
Hello.
Hi.
Even though you can't hear us out there. They have obviously the Chinese stream going out, Chinese audio. All right, so this map is pretty comfortable to take an expansion on, to be fair. Wonder if we see both players try to take a fast expansion.
Yeah. Trying to punish really early on this map is so difficult. I mean, you can do what I was saying earlier with the really early gateway and then eventually scouting out your opponent and la-di-da-di-da, and then putting on that huge aggression very early, but it's normal gateway timings. Neither player is wanting to take any kind of big risks early on, which is good for them. I would like to see a bit more of a macro game.
I mean, Phoenixes could play well again on this map because the map's so big and Phoenixes are so fast.
Yeah.
And if one player goes one gate expansion, the other player goes Phoenixes. We've seen what happens already twice. So these seem the 2 most likely builds, unless somebody wants to try and play a little bit more risky and gamble a little bit, try a build or strategy that's not quite as successful as the others. But I'm leaning towards more so expansion and slightly play again, especially considering that's what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, like, I don't see why anybody would really change it up too much, especially on a bigger map. Like, it seems like a logical choice, but Cybernetics Core is very much delayed there for Jim.
Yeah, that early scout coming back to bite him in the bum.
Yeah.
And he did have 3 in Gassel for a long time straight away as well.
So that's not the most amazing of starts, but, you know, it's not... As long as San isn't doing anything too massively, aggressively impactful, and especially now since he actually sees double gateway opener as well, he knows what he's going to be playing against, to be honest.
Double gateway. And Jim, instant scout, will retreat back off and has good intel to start to think about what his next step is. Likewise, San goes in, sees, all right, that's a late Cybercore because mine's already finished. I already started Wargate research. A lot of gas he has banked up. And Jim is going to go for that Stargate no matter what. He's just going, hey, yo, bro. It's there.
Insta-scene.
What you going to do?
All right.
What is your reaction, Sam?
Is it going to beat Stargate? Well, no, probably not. Off the back of 2 gateways, he could, I mean, he could go for it, but could happily just go for a Twilight Council as well if he wanted. What are you going to do, San?
It's one Stalker, that's it. Mothership Core, second Stalker, and third.
Stalker.
And he's going to put a bit of pressure on.
All right.
He's escaped with his probe. He may throw down a third gateway here and ramp up the pressure a little bit more.
Yeah, could. I mean, he knows from poking in how much of a lack of units his opponent would ever have on the ground.
Yeah.
Which is always nice if you're going to poke along with these 3 Stalkers. But you got to be careful because you know that there's the potential of this Oracle coming out as well. So units are always going to have to be home to defend.
Yeah. I mean, the Mothership Core can be there to defend though for him.
Yeah. 2 extra gateways get added on for Jim. One extra for San. And,
good scout. Sees the third and fourth Stalker. All right, so San's going to try this pressure build.
Uh-oh, sees the pylon at the front as well.
Yeah. Jim knows what's coming his way. He needs to start to think about maybe building a Void Ray here. I wonder what he tries to do. He needs some beef to his army. Warp Gate research is quite far away. What's the beef to his army? I guess if he... Yeah, Void Ray. If he kills a lot of workers here with this Oracle, it works out, but Sam's not a dummy. Sam's going to have this Mothership Core around.
Yeah, just leering around at the back there. Might just try... Oh, no! He's just shooting Nexus. Oh, he could have got a few more kills there, maybe 2 more. So that's
But I like Void Ray, man. I do like the Void Ray here.
Yeah, it's going to help out a lot. Especially since there's no blink as well.
No, there's no blink. The Void Ray can charge up. He can go for a second Void Ray pretty fast. The Photon Overcharge will buy him enough time to get 1 out, and he'll get half of the other one if he goes for another one straight away, which in this case you want to.
Twilight Council's very late here, so if Blink was coming out at all, it would be exceptionally delayed against rising count of Void Rays.
Gateway's up. Zealots are going to be warped in now for Jim. He needs the gas, really, for another Void Ray. Oh, no, 2 Stalkers, actually. Okay.
Guess he just wants a lot of meat to this army.
Yeah, 2 Void Rays is very powerful here.
Yeah.
But look at this. The Oracle goes in, sees the Twilight Council. 2 Stalkers at home. No Photon Overcharge this time.
Just goes for kills. Oh.
Nice. A bit of damage on that Stalker there. All right, time for the double Void Ray action. And I think double Void Rays is great here.
Yeah, just push this away. Make sure he can't do anything more at the front.
Time for expansions.
All right, so the big question is, did San kind of weigh up his losses from this kind of attempt? And the answer right now is probably no. I mean, look, there's 400 minerals now banked up for Jim.
Yeah, and he's building another Oracle too.
All right, so he gets the better end of this in the end, I feel.
Yeah, he reacted very well to the 3-gate pressure.
Yeah.
Blink coming in for San. And he has quite a few Stalkers out here, so if he continues, if he builds it, does he have another pylon anywhere close?
No.
he doesn't, does he? So
if
it's going to be hard
in.
to... Yeah, I mean, he can start to combat the Void Ray soon with enough Stalkers when Blink is ready.
Yeah.
But the robotics facility is incoming. The Oracle's going to get quite a lot of intel. Is there any Stalkers left home? Just the Mothership Core. Should have enough energy. Oh, it doesn't. Not yet.
Oh,
7 energy.
Close.
He's going to kill a lot of probes.
All right, okay, so he's going to try and dive in there and just get what he can. 2 more Stalkers are actually there to reinforce and try and deny this as quickly as possible. There's the Photon Overcharge as well, still expended during all of this. We'll get it.
5 probes. What? 10 probe difference and a Nexus.
Yeah.
You need another Void Ray or Immortal soon, though.
I think San feels totally pinned into just going for this.
But look how far Blink is. He hasn't got a probe or pylon close. He's got so much time to build an Immortal now as well. Oh, boy.
His economy's
San's in
hurting.
good shape. Photon Overcharge on the natural in a second as well. There's no high ground vision. I guess when the Mothership Core comes, that's okay. But that Photon Overcharge will buy Jim enough time to get an Immortal in.
This is looking bad for San. This is not too character. I really do think he is a little bit shaken in this matchup right now, as he's going to try and micro his heart out against this. He knows he has to not only work on the Force, but also work on the Nexus because of the Photon Overcharge that can come out here. And indeed it does. It's going to buy him even more time. There's going to be an Immortal out as well. This is a disaster here for San.
Yeah, he's going to blink in the main.
It's a nice attempt. Photon Overcharge. I don't think he has energy for another one, right?
This is good. This is a good move. He might be able to pick up the Immortal. No, maybe not.
This Force is gathering a lot of power. A lot of power. Tries to get one of the Void Rays, pulls it back with the blinks down.
Good micro, Jim.
Ooh.
Another Oracle coming out to seal the deal here. That's going to swing around, realizing that the Mothership Core is with the army. And if that Oracle gets in, that is lights out for San.
Yeah, and the 2 Stalkers are actually leaving home now as well. So there is no defense at the back. It is all or nothing here for San.
Void Ray's still alive.
Jeez.
Another Immortal's on the way. Jim. Jim.
This Oracle. He is the Grim Reaper right now.
Yeah, he's going to finish this off. San trying to build up that Stalker count. A second Immortal is here. 2 Void Rays still alive.
It's looking bad.
There'll be another phone overcharge soon as well.
Yeah.
Jim.
Jeez, all
Here
right.
we go, here we go.
All right, buy all of your mineral line. It's all on those stalkers to do something now as Jim.
Good night, sweet prince.
Bye-bye. This is really, really impressive stuff here
And
from
San's
Jim.
going to go for it, all or nothing, gung-ho. You have to kill Jim right now. The game is going to be over if you don't. Another photon overcharge, and here we go. It's over.
Doesn't even give it all.
G.
Nicely done. China now 1 game away from the round of 4 against San, a guy that is almost always in contention for like top spots in every tournament he goes to.
Jim does not have the same results San does, but Jim does not go to the same tournament San does.
Yeah.
San has got so many top results. He's played in 3 finals in the last year. He's had multiple top 4 finishes. As we've mentioned before multiple times, he's never finished lower than top 8 since around October last year. Incredibly consistently high performer. But right now, Jim, with his own little death stare, is 1 game away from eliminating San here in the round of 8 and moving as the only non-Korean left in the tournament to challenge the rest here in the lower bracket of the Intel Extreme Masters.
The merry-go-round will be our 4th map, so we're getting loaded up to the 4th one as San needs to somehow equalize the odds. And the way Jim's been playing, he's been reacting great.
He's adapting exactly in the right way. He sees the puzzle, he just solves it. He knows what he's got to do, he does it, and he looks good. StarCraft is simple when it's that easy, Colaris.
When you're as good as Jim, it's that simple. All right, let's get into it. Spawning up to the top left, we have our red Protoss. 1 game away from the round of 4. It's Jim. Da-da-da.
Ooh, Innovation Jim. That's what he wants to see.
Salotape to his head. And spawning down to the south as our blue Protoss, representing your Flash Wolves, it's San.
Jim bringing passion to China for StarCraft 2. And it'd be great to see him move on, and great to see everyone back in the crowd for tomorrow's games as well. Of course, we are going to finish up with the quarterfinals today. We will have Innovation versus Solar as our next game, and semi-finals will be played out tomorrow.
Exciting
and of course,
stuff.
the final as well.
We have some really good games coming up. Really good games. I'm looking forward to Solar and Innovation. Solar always looking very nifty during qualifiers.
Yeah, Solar has been playing so well this tournament, but he's run into the one player he didn't want to play against.
Yeah.
A Terran and Innovation.
He's quite the character as well, is Solar. Quite the character. Very nice guy. Every time I end up speaking to him. But anyway, getting into this now. Normal gateway timings into normal gas timings for the pair of them.
Yeah, this is, you know, you don't have too much deviation when it comes to the early build orders. This is the best build order.
Yeah.
The only other things you can do is like really early gateway, which is very risky. You can try like, 3 gateway off 1 gas. It's also risky because if it's spotted, it's very easily dealt with. Due to the mothership core, you have a photon overcharge. You don't need to worry about this kind of stuff. Sometimes you see cannon rushes or proxy gateways, but not as often. And this is the most optimal build you could ask for.
At least Jim got a good scout off here to begin things in the right direction. If he was paying attention to where that probe came from, he may go to the left, but it looks like he's actually going up to the right, is San. So unfortunately for him, doesn't quite read into the direction of that probe.
Jim almost flicked his probe back there, or he wouldn't have scouted anything.
Don't want to be doing that. We've all seen that happen from time to time. Why is he there? He trails it. He doesn't want anything weird going on in the mineral line.
And unfortunately for San, he may not even get a scout in this game at all. Because that probe's rather late to the party of seeing what's going on in Jim's base. Jim, Stargate again. Very consistent with what he wants to do. He knows what he likes.
Very adamant about it. But I don't mind that. If he has a winning strategy, if he feels comfortable with it, why not?
Yeah. And the Mothership Core may be out in time to push the probe back from spotting it, especially because San has seen the Stargate pretty much every time it's been built.
Yeah.
This time,
Go Mothership. Oh, he stopped.
Oh, Stargate versus Stargate.
Why did he stop?
Because he knew it was already too late to scout.
That's true.
Stargate versus Stargate. Is San going to go straight Phoenix versus what seems to be what Jim likes to do, but of course he doesn't know that. Jim. Phoenix. Phoenix versus Phoenix again, maybe. What's San gonna try?
Yeah.
Oh, Probe Scout sees the Stargate.
Nice.
Good scout from Jim.
How did he manage to get in there?
I don't know how he did that, but he's got that scout. Big pickup.
Jim.
Hot pickup for Jim. Hot pickup.
Whoa, whoa,
Oh, no!
Probe! Probe!
Good scout from San.
How did he get in there as well?
Good scout. You are slacking, missus.
Jeez.
You mothership core.
Ah.
Slacker.
Go on, go away.
You're not meant to allow the probe in, but you did. So both players know it's Phoenix versus Phoenix. We have 3 gateways from Sam versus Expansion for Jim. And a probe moving out. It's not going to get caught.
What the?
It's not going to get caught.
Oh, wow.
Could see a bit of aggression coming out here from Old San.
Ooh.
3 gateways ready to warp in units. Phoenix is for support.
Phoenix
or is that money's in the Nexus?
Phoenix is a good for support, man. If you can isolate, even if, like, there's options, right? You can pick up a few, you can get sentries, for example, and shut those down. That was damage. Oh, did he just get that?
No.
It was very close.
Both equal.
Oof.
Both equal. 20 hit points each.
The perfect trade.
Yeah. Big scout there. The Phoenix does actually pick it up. The Phoenix does pick it up, so now Jim knows what he's up against. He's actually up against aggression. He's got extra gateways coming in. Photon Overcharge is going to be so useful on that natural, and it should. Will it? No, it's actually kind of far away. Is it going to complete? Should be down fast.
With the sentry at the top of the ramp, I think he kind of has to sack. I don't think he can really save.
He's going to save it.
Try.
He's going to save it. Photon Overcharge done.
Oh, okay, with the Photon Overcharge.
Guardian Shield going to be so useful. He needs to keep the sentry alive.
Ooh.
Whoa, Zealot had a couple of good swipes on that, and it did get picked off for its attempt.
But now it's so low. And once a Guardian Shield goes up, the Stalkers are going to be able to just take it out very quickly.
The Guardian Shield is very important, and keeping that sentry alive is very important too.
Okay.
Phoenix count's going to be pretty sick right now for Jim. It's climbing up. Gateways are finishing here as well. He's having a quick scout, see if the units are still there. See if he can get a couple of waves of damage onto the Phoenixes, but he's the one that's taking damage.
Good perimeter scout there as well by Jim, just to make sure what's going on outside with those Phoenix, just skirting the small army, making sure he's okay. But
400 minerals dumped into that Nexus, which is not going to have a Photon Overcharge on it again.
Yeah.
Well, it's got 10 seconds. It's only 10 seconds away.
He doesn't have to buy too much time at all. All he has
just
to do is
wait.
keep his army alive.
Just needs to wait, and that's enough time.
Yeah.
Wait. 4, 3, 2, 1, and he's going to be good. All right, Photon Overcharge, and this is really good.
And now this gets to the point.
Where's the Photon Overcharge? There
he's
it
going
is.
to take the engagement with all of this as well. And yeah, okay, so the sentry actually soaked up quite a bit of damage there, but the Phoenix
good defense.
also.
Very good defense by Jim. Very good defense.
All right. He's actually, I don't even know if he has to go out this far.
No, he does not need to go out this far. It's 2 base versus 1. He does not need to do this, but he is risking this.
He's pushing the issue a little bit here. That Mothership Core dying.
He does not need to be out here.
Yeah, and he's going to lose a lot of his Phoenix.
He does not need to be out here.
Why did he go so far?
I don't know why he went so far. He did not need to be this far out. He had Photon Overcharge active. And he's just given San a chance here. 16 supply to 26, 18, 20 to 26 now, as you can see on screen at the above. No reason to be out there.
I mean, one thing for Jim is that he has an extra gateway at least over his opponent, but he lost so much during that push out to try and force his opponent away. Now the time warp is going to slow down a lot of those Zealots as well as the Stalkers from dealing with this. He has the Phoenix number advantage, I believe, during all of that as well.
Yeah, good micro from both sides, but
I have to say, I'm flabbergasted. I didn't really think that was
Jim
needed.
continues to hold for now.
It's the extra gateway that's holding him on. The extra gateway.
He's got 1 or 2 more probes as well, I think. That's helping out a little bit too.
All right, needs to keep this Stalker count up. Needs to keep it fighting. There's the only last Phoenix with that one now
lift
falling
time,
down.
lift time.
That's going to be it. He negates so much of that damage. Probes come off the line as well to try and hold on against this. He actually doesn't have that many lifts left, but, I mean, those Stalkers are so weak at this point.
All the probes are down. The 4 gateway doesn't matter now. The 3 gateway is more than good enough for...
Why did he go? Why did he go?
No need to go. He's got energy. He can build up energy on these Phoenixes and go lift again. And here we go. Good game from San. Jim.
Oh, GG.
Jim.
Oh, San ties up the series 2-2.
Gave him a gift.
He did.
Gave San a gift there.
I can't help but feel that Jim there could have secured himself around a 4 spot, or at least been a lot more comfortable in that spot. Whew.
Sounds like, whew. Yeah.
All right. We're 2-2. That game is now over. We have one more match.
Should have been 3-1. It should have been 3-1.
Yeah.
And as much as I do want to see Jim in the semifinals, likewise with San, it's just that was his game.
He has to know
it was wrapped
mistake.
up. The semi, that's $1,000 there. Yeah. Jim, you've given San a chance back into this now, and San is definitely world class. So
you can't do that. He's tenacious. He will grab it.
If San turns this around now and wins this next game, Jim will be kicking himself.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Next map, Catalina, 3-player map. Again, the new map pool, a lot less likely for proxy gateways and so on. I'm happy to see Spider-Man's come to join us for this. Thank you very much.
Spider-Man?
What's up, bro?
Yeah.
I'm like, Hyun, is that you? Why didn't you play in the tournament? He's like, no, I'm in Valencia right now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, another tournament. All right, let's get into things. Spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. He should be in the round of 4 right now. Needs to seal it up here in game at number 5. Representing Invictus Gaming, it's Jim. And up to the top as our blue Protoss given a gift. Representing Yo Flash Wolves, it's San.
Yankee go Stargate 5 games in a row.
I think so.
Yeah.
Why change it, man? Just keep going Stargate. We love Phoenix. It's one of my favorite units. So keep going. I'm okay with this. A bizarre game 4. Very strange game 4. Could have been in the bag there for our Chinese representative.
Yeah.
Alas,
I've said it enough, but it's a shame.
It's important to reiterate because that could have been his.
All right. Let's hope it doesn't affect him coming into this next game. So probably, we are going to see the same builds. There's no need to say probably. We are going to see the same builds again by both players, just depending on what they choose here. Phoenix is also, again, great on here. So much airspace to mess around with. Come in from different angles. You're really punishing the player that doesn't go Phoenix here. You cannot defend all of this.
Yeah.
Cannot defend all of that.
Very hard. So much airspace. So much airspace. You can even just hide behind the main and just chill out there for ages.
Yeah.
So scary proposition.
All right, same builds, but what is the strategy? Same builds, but may see different strategy. Slightly earlier scout for Jim here. And San gonna take his chance out in the wild without a probe scout, so he may not get any information.
All right. So, do you have much chance to play any PvP on this map by chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the maps affect the matchup that much.
No.
The only thing it really affects is how the natural is, and this natural's rather friendly towards expansions.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that really stands out for me on this map.
But that probe is going in between 2 locations, up to the top left.
Jimmy.
Uh-oh.
Jimmy.
I think he goes Stargate, but just in a whole different way.
Jimmy, no!
Jim! He's dead, Jim. Oh, no.
Proxy Stargate.
All right.
So, yeah, Stargate 5 games in a row here, unless he tries like a DT build or something. But we are going to see, and now San's information from this probe is crucial.
Oh, and he threw down.
Goes in.
It's the extra pylon. It's the mind game. Because there's 2 pylons
Where's the
in
mothership?
here.
Why isn't the mothership core not building, bro?
That's true.
It's another probe. Huh, interesting. Stalker being credit boosted out. You don't necessarily need the extra pylon right now. As you can see, San doesn't have it either, so it's not like a big tell. The mothership core not building is a tell. That's gas. Like, is San going to read into that? If he has read into that, we may see the mothership core go left or right to have a scout around.
Where's it going? I think is it going straight down?
He may have read into that. Depending on where, the only way we're really going to tell is his scouting pattern here.
Like, it would have been even better if that probe had stuck around and saw it was only a stalker coming out. Like, and then you're like, well...
But as much as it is a tell, it also could have just been another probe building than the mothership core. Like, it's that it could also just have been that. But right now, San is out on the map with every little bit of his anti-air. 3 gateways, most likely here for San. He's got 3 stalkers out.
Are the 2 stalkers rallied as well? Are they rallied forwards?
Yeah, absolutely rallied. At this point, when you're playing this, you are rallied over. There is the mothership core for Jim to buy time, and he will have a photon overcharge just about when these units approach.
Uh-oh. He could lose he could lose so much in his main.
Oh, no,
so
wait,
much.
he skipped the mothership core, didn't he? He skipped the mothership core. Okay, he realizes something is very wrong because there are no units there.
All right, gotta be careful.
All right, I think he's suspecting that this is going to be a proxy.
Yeah.
He's looking around with his mothership core, maybe.
Anything else?
2 Stalkers. That's enough to deal a little bit of damage, but Probe shall die.
It's a good read there by San in the end to bring those back, because if he hadn't, he would have lost so much.
Yeah. How many kills did he get? A couple. Not a lot there. The Mothership Core also got a couple.
Yeah, that's nice.
2 kills there. So
really good.
As good as that Oracle did, it was nullified a little bit. Another one's being built, and it is a switch into Blink.
Yeah, I argue San comes out better on that. Like, overall.
Yeah, overall, because Blink is good here. It's the Mothership Core goes in again. I don't think it should recall. I really think it should just try to fly home, but he might have to recall here.
Yeah.
Oh, he shouldn't have recalled ideally, because you want that energy to be able to continue the defense at home.
Got very greedy in there.
Yeah. Always wanting a little, one more probe. But the big problem is the defense against Blink is the Stargate right now. Unless that Robo is fast, it's the Void Rays, right? Like we saw before.
Yeah.
But he needs to get Immortals out. As long as the Mothership Core is at home defending, why I said the Mothership Core should have flown back to be able to preserve its energy to Photon Overcharge the Oracle, rather than having units have to do the work for the Oracle. That means it's going to be hard for San to move out to be aggressive, which in return gives Jim the time to get the robotics facility in play. So that Mothership Core going for one more probe is actually a big part of this game.
Yeah, really is. And now looks like we're going to have aggressive pylon set up here by San. And as we said before, you give San an opportunity, he is not going to throw it away. He even got a little bit of extra damage onto that. If that Oracle died, he would feel so much room in this game. So it's important that he actually keeps that alive.
Yeah, you're right as well there. The Stalkers, just the Oracle being alive, keeps Stalkers home.
Yeah.
Photon Overcharge will be used shortly. Doesn't want to use it too early. And obviously, the later he uses it, the more edgy it banks up. So the distance or the difference between Photon Overcharge 1 and 2 is short.
Here come the Stalker Warpins. We have Blink there as well now for San. So this is going to be his offensive capability. Photon Overcharge there. He actually focuses down 1 sentry.
Nice.
Very good control.
First Immortal out. Second on the way here. This is looking worse and worse for San.
Still no Nexus for him. He is all guns blazing.
What's left
right
in the main base? Because I see Stalkers coming down.
There's 3 Stalkers left in the main base.
Okay.
In the mineral line.
Yeah, those are going to be enough to deal with the Oracle, but if he kills the Oracle, he can use these.
Ooh.
He's ready. All right, okay. That was the shuffled Blink. Oh, the Immortal.
Whoa, okay. Oh dear. He has to keep that alive. Absolutely has to keep that alive. But they're actually...
San!
Oh, the army has been blocked on there.
San, he's going for the Immortal.
God.
He's gambling for the Immortal. He's losing so much on the way. A good warp in there trying to keep the Stalkers, but he lost a lot.
He could have lost even more, though, if Jim had actually brought his entire army up there.
And because he blinked away there. And he's
Jimmy.
losing units. 46 applied to 62. Jim is doing it. He's making the hold. He's got another Immortal on the way. The Oracle's in base, gets chased out again.
Okay, this time an alright Blink, but still does not get the kill, so Jim is really keeping his opponent on his toes. There's no Nexus still for San. No kind of later game position here. It's all on the Blink.
Oh, Guardian Shield. There's 5 Zealots at the front.
Second Immortal joins the battle as well here. He's a little bit choked up during all of this, but the Zealots are tanking so much for those 2 Immortals at the back. He's trying to focus down the sentries. Does get one with the Guardian Shield. That was a good move.
San has got to go. There's no expanding here, bro. It is all in. You have to kill Jim. But Jim is in such good position. He's feeling the pressure, though. He is pylon blocked.
And I love that revelation on the Stalkers as well. He knows his opponent is on the back foot.
Can't expand here.
No, exactly.
But at the same time, he can't attack.
Yeah, and if he'd have moved out with those Stalkers, they were revelated, so he could have gone in with the Oracle and just killed even more workers. That was a great move by Jim. It's very small, but in the end, now he knows. He has to know how great a position he's in. Oh, wow.
San, 1. He doesn't care about the Oracle anymore.
No.
3, 4 kills, whatever. That's, the probe difference right now, 11.
And it's going to keep escalating.
And chrono boost in both Nexus. Jim is going to start chrono boosting in here. We're going to see a Forge put down soon. He can do this in 2 ways. He can finish the game off if he wants to go for a Twilight Council, more gateways, get Blink of his own and overpower his opponent with units. Or he says, okay, I will keep my advantage all game long and I'll find another way to kill you. So it looks like he's chosen the latter there. The Forge is going to come in. We'll have the upgrade come in. He should take his 4th gas on the natural. He should put down the robotics bay and just play it out, man. He's in such a good position. This Hallucinated Phoenix is like, yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
That is the Victory Phoenix right there. This is... it's not even that their armies... Technically, if you look at their army counts, Jim's isn't as huge against Sans as you would expect, but it's the quality of army that is there that is very important for Jim, who has those 3 Immortals in with this to make it impenetrable right now for San to do anything against it.
+1 attack on the way. More Immortals being built. Interested what Jimmy is he gonna, okay, there it is. He's gonna throw down that box. But it's scouted by San. But San has gotta find a way. I do not know what it is.
He's gotta play the PvP of his life.
Is it some hidden nexus? Is it, DTs that somehow find their way in? Is it a random, air switch into mass void rays? Or it has to be crazy. Yeah. It has to be crazy because no matter how good his position is, no matter how long it takes.
And he sees, with the Observer in the middle, a probe moving out to the top left. He just saw it walk past. So if he anticipates this probe doing something like a hidden nexus, which is one way he could have got back in, he'll be able to find this. Wait, what?
He's gonna try a crazy tech.
Okay, yeah, it's crazy tech.
He's gonna try crazy tech.
Okay.
I don't know what this crazy tech is because he knows he has to try something.
It's got to be DTs. I don't see what else it could be.
It could be double Stargate. It could be DTs. Yeah.
All right.
It needs something crazy. It absolutely does.
Get your gamble on.
Third Nexus coming in for Jim. So as crazy as whatever it is, Jim's gonna have a lot of money to be able to build around towards that.
I think that might have been prompted by seeing that probe move out.
Dark Shrine it is.
Okay.
Warp Prism is around somewhere. I think it was built. So.
Yep.
And he's gonna go around the long way. And Dark Templar, if he can kill enough probes to find his way back in, 10 probe difference. But right now, Jim is on the highway to the round of 4.
And he's got an Observer in his main as well, so he's looking pretty, looking very pretty. An Observer in his opponent's main, having a look around. Of course, he doesn't see the Dark Shrine because it's quite a way away.
Has Sam seen the third, or he's seen the units out in the open? He's going to have a look now.
Yeah.
That's going to be a...
it's a sting.
Going to be a sting, yeah. Sting's a good word. Oh, and the gas is down.
He's like, no!
Oh, God. All right, gets rid of the cannon. That's a bit of a tell, by the way. Small tell.
Yeah, focusing that down.
Yeah.
But this Warp Prism is going to try and engage from the right-hand side.
Where's Jim's +2? He doesn't want to forget about that. San has caught up.
Yeah. That's actually, not too bad for San, but he's so far behind, so far. I mean, without anything being done up to the top left about him seeing that probe with the Observer, unless it was just the response of a third going down, I wouldn't have minded a hidden nexus. I think that might have been a better way than this.
3 DTs. It's a lot of gas. Jim is just on the road to 200 supply, really. Attack when you get there, and you know you're going to be ahead of your opponent by at least 30-odd supply. So you're good to go, really. Observer is in the main base.
If he actually blinked in and sniped out the Observer.
Yes, he's going to do that. He's going to do that.
Good luck, San.
He
sees
nice move.
If he gets that, is there no
nice
Observer?
Move.
There's a cannon. There's a cannon.
You can drop on the cannon. Drop on the cannon. You have to drop on the cannon.
And is there an Observer with this army as well?
Nice.
It's not with the army, it's the Observer.
I don't know where it is. It's on the other side of the map.
It's on the other side of the map. He's going to bring down the robo. There's no more detection here at all. These DTs can run an absolute muck if they want to.
What a move by San.
Wow. This could be a way to bring himself back into this. He's still got to do a lot of work. This army is now scrambling. The one Observer from the other side of the map is coming back to try and reinforce. But that was a fantastic move by San to try and claw his way back into this game.
Observer's almost here.
Oh my.
As good as this is and as cool as it is, there's still a lot more damage needed to be done.
Yes,
he hasn't done enough.
Oh, and the Observer's back and he's
now sounds like, GG!
Jim moves on to the round of 4 for China and Invictus Gaming. What a game, what a series.
San thought that would be his only way. Kill the Observer, kill the Robo, but Jim is through. And he does say hello to the Chinese audience, all applauding his performance. 3-2. He moves over San into the semis. What a performance. Good play from Jim.
Very, very cool series. And I really did like the way in which we saw San try and recuperate it at the very end there. But it just was not enough. That one last Observer scouting out on the other side of the map was his saving grace. And Jim advances on to the round of 4.
Jim credible.
That's a fantastic accomplishment for him.
The last non-Korean officially in this tournament now. He didn't fall at the same place Snoot did. It is now Jim in the semi-finals, who will tackle either Solar or Innovation. Of course, the winner of our next quarter-final. Congratulations to Jim, awesome performance.
Yeah, very good stuff. And, well, yeah, as you said, Solar or Innovation, crazy, crazy opponents that he's going to have to face up against. And we actually have really good race distribution at the moment going on.
To be fair, as much as I want Solar to advance through, Solar is more than capable to destroy Jim.
Yep.
Solar has played
Yes.
the best Zerg versus Protoss that I've seen in a very long time at this tournament. Unbelievable. So innovation, I think, is where he can do it.
Yeah, I think so. All right, guys, that does it from us. Let's head over to Paul at the couch.
Thank you very much, gents. Yes, on the commentary. Back with Moonglade. What do you think?
An amazing match and 5 Stargates in a row for Jim. Something Jim credible on its own, actually, and he made it work every time.
Yeah, he did.
It's so impressive to see, and I'm sure San is wishing he saw a lot more games of Jim coming up to this because, you know, he did the same style every game, same opening, but he made it work in different ways every game.
What is it with San and getting to knockout stages? Because he's done it a lot this year. He's been in the last 4 many times, last 8 many times. For some reason, other than Aces ROG earlier on in the year, he hasn't been able to go all the way to the grand final and win a tournament. Well, what is it about him?
It's so strange, and it always seems to be PvP, right?
Yeah.
He's good at PvP, but he keeps running into these players that are just doing a little bit better. And today he got close. He got closer than he did in any other PvP match recently.
Yeah.
But still, it just wasn't enough.
Okay, what about Jim? I mean, home crowd, advantage. We talked about it before the match, how important it was to him, and it's proved that way. The crowd got behind him after everything as well.
It was amazing. It's such a crowd, and yeah, he came in as kind of the dark horse, and he proved that he deserves to be here. He deserves to represent China here, and he definitely played that way.
Yeah, I'm wondering right now whether Rotterdam is even awake, and if he is awake, what he's actually doing, whether he's dancing around his front room or something, with Jim dances or something. He's been a big fan of Jim, and he pushed Jim last year when we started talking about WCS America.
Right.
And he really kind of came to our attention, more so last year than perhaps any of the other years, because of WCS America. Hasn't perhaps, you know, enjoyed any success as we would have hoped for him over there.
Yeah.
But now, as the last foreigner here at Intel Extreme Masters, he's in the last 4. He's got a genuine shot at this, isn't he?
He does. Considering his next 2 opponents, Innovation or Solar, he came through a group with Life and Tasia, and he beat them both.
Yep.
That's something to say. I mean, they're on the same level, I feel, as Solar and Innovation. He could definitely get to the finals from here, and he could even win it.
Okay, one map between these two. Seems a fair reflection on the way they played. What was the difference, though, that got Jim through in the end, do you think?
Well, it definitely seemed like Jim had better Stargate sort of experience. He seemed to win the Stargate games. If it was Stargate versus Stargate, he seemed to have a great transition from it, and he always remained in control, and he always did damage with the Stargates. He always constantly produced more oracles if the first one got shot down. He would find ways to get in, do that probe damage, the worker kills, and from there he'd just gain a lead, get that expansion down, and just hold off anything San could do, because San was always on the aggression. Once that Nexus went down, he was always trying to punish Jim for expanding in general.
It's not the end of the world for San, of course. It's the middle of the year, and he's already pretty much assured of a place at BlizzCon, so I don't suppose he's that unhappy. He's clocked up a load more points, a few more pounds, dollars in the bank as well, so I don't suppose he'd be that disappointed. But what does he need to do now to move to that next level of being, have the killer instinct of a Tasia, for instance, who goes to these big worldwide global tournaments and dominates tournaments?
Yeah, I definitely think he shouldn't be unhappy with this, because he's making progress. He took 2 games off of Protoss this time instead of 0. So I think he's got to go back, and he clearly knows why it's going wrong. It's his PvP that's in these tournaments that is costing him games, costing him championships. And he's just got to go back and grind it out some more. He's got to keep practicing this matchup until he knows why he's losing, because it's happening too much.
And Jim, obviously a great result for him, and just carried on where he left off yesterday. Sometimes it's difficult, isn't it? When you go to a tournament, you get into a zone, you feel like, actually I feel good today. You sit down, the table's at the right height, the air conditioning works, the screen's good. Something clicks, and you get into a pattern where you just win, and then you come back the following day and something changes, and you can't quite put your finger on it. It's difficult sometimes, isn't it, to come back like Jim has today and just carry on winning again.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, well, it is his home country, which probably helps a lot. And for the foreigners, I mean, getting good sleep, dealing with jet lag, dealing with food that you might not be used to eating can come into play. So, yeah, Jim at home right now, this is his best opportunity to, go the distance, go far, and hopefully it leads on to other tournaments. Hopefully we see him do a lot better in WCSNA, which I'm sure he can, but obviously he's got to deal with latency and all that along the way. All right,
we're on the verge of a 50th consecutive tournament win for Koreans. Is Jim able to stop it?
I hope so. I really hope so at this point.
I think you probably sum up with how we all feel about it as well. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we will have the winner, Jim, right here on the couch. Okay, welcome back. As I said, it was going to be a very short musical break. We're back with Jim and with Jasper. Firstly, Jim, congratulations, well played. It was a great game.
那恭喜你 Jim， 你获得第一次的比赛。那你有什么感想啊？
非常开心吧。这次能赢San真的非常荣幸，他是个很强的神族选手。
He feels very honored to win against San. He's a very strong Protoss player in his own opinion, and he feels very honored to get the chance to play against him as well.
Yeah, talk to us about what it feels like to play in China in a big tournament in front of a home crowd. It must be fantastic for you.
在你站在中国的这一场比赛，也是你自己的家乡。那在这么多的华人观众前面玩这场比赛，你有什么感想吗？
当然就是尽力发挥啊，肯定要展示出自己最强的实力，这样才不会失望啊。
He doesn't wish to feel disappointed from taking part in a tournament, especially in China, and he will put in his best to do his own home country proud.
Yeah, I think well, you've already done that, Jim, because everyone out there was very happy to see you win that game. How different is it for you in terms of playing Intel Extreme Masters in China to, say, playing WCS in America, where we've seen you in the past?
那么我们看到你这一次在 IEM 比的这一场比赛，那你觉得跟你参加过的 WCS 美国的比赛有什么不同吗？
这一次的话，因为怎么说呢，就参加 WCS 我也是非常大优势，也是同在死亡之组里面，所以当时我总结了很多，因为那一次就是没有出现，我当然非常的难过嘛。就是在中国的话，肯定可以发挥出更好的实力，因为就是打美服可能还是有一些小小的延迟，就是有延迟吧。
So he believes that while playing in the Intel Extreme Masters in China, right, he doesn't have to deal with problems such as delays, lag, and that especially affects his game. But when it comes to playing in WCS America, he has to deal with handling delays while he's playing all of his competitive games. So the experience is really different compared to the different tournaments available.
Sure, okay. I mean, difficult to ask you about BlizzCon right now because it's a little while away, but in your mind, are you still thinking that maybe you can get enough WCS points to get to BlizzCon?
现在可能说暴雪嘉年华的东西可能有点过早，可是你觉得你现在有没有机会累积到足够的 WCS 分数，让你进入那个 WCS 的比赛？
这个我会加油的，因为前面2届，第1届和第2届 WCS 我都是遭遇最厉害的选手在里面了，就是死亡之组嘛那种。接下来我就算是分配到死亡之组，我也要尽全力出现，争取能拿到最好的成绩。
With all his past appearance, he highlighted that he has always been placed in the group of death. So he has always felt that it was very challenging. But he will always put in his best effort to achieve the most points possible to let him qualify back into WCS successfully. Okay. And of course going into BlizzCon as well.
All right, okay. One final question. I know you've enjoyed your time in America with Rotterdam in particular. Rotterdam is a Jim fan. And I just wondered whether Jim was a Rotterdam fan, and if so, what do you think of Rotterdam?
那我们发现你在美国的经验也蛮丰富的，那你也认识到了那个解说 Rotterdam。那 Rotterdam 是你很大的粉丝，在你眼里，你是不是很大的 Rotterdam 的粉丝呢？
是的吧。
They say he's quite a big fan of Rotterdam as well.
Yeah. Okay, but on a scale of 1 to 100, if 100 is a pretty woman, the most beautiful woman ever is 100, what is Rotterdam?
如果在你眼里最美丽的女人是100分，那 Rotterdam 拿到什么这样的分数？
这个我不太清楚。
He's not very sure what points or what score Rotterdam will
Come on, Jim. Gotta give me a score.
一定要给他一个分数。
Out of 100.
一定要给他一个分数。你认为最美的女人是100分，那 Rotterdam 在你眼里是多少分
？60分吧。
You say 60 points.
60 points. I'm going to take the Roddy. You've just got 60 points from Jim. I would take it personally, but you're Roddy, so I don't know. Jim, thank you very much for being here, and congratulations on reaching the semi-final. Very best of luck in your semi-finals as well. Hope that for China's sake you can get through to the final. So
Jim 非常恭喜你这一次的赢的比赛，那我们全部也祝你好运，参加这一次的比赛会顺利通过。谢谢你 Jim。
谢谢。
Okay, that is it from the couch for now. We're going to be back very shortly with our final quarter-final of the day. Remember, the 2 semi-finals and grand final take place on day 5 of the Intel Extreme Masters Shenzhen tomorrow, of course, but we've got to find out who's going to play Jim in our second semi-final a little bit later on. Quick break now. When we come back, we'll have that game for you.